TrueFire knows that every guitarist is at a different place on their guitar learning journey. So we've developed TrueFire learning paths to help guide you and advance you on that journey. If you go to learning paths, you'll notice that they're divided by style. We have blues, jazz, rock, acoustic, and country. So if we go to the blues learning path, I'm just going to scroll through this so you can see all of the different courses and the way it's laid out here. There's a lot of material here. So you see there's a lot of different levels. TrueFire learning paths are divided by levels. So we have beginner to late beginner. Then we move into late beginner to intermediate, and there's several courses there. Then intermediate to late intermediate, with quite a few courses available there as well. And we finally finish off with late intermediate to advanced. And then there are several courses there. Our learning paths are divided up by core courses and then supplementary courses. The core courses, you'll see here, are really the essential courses in the learning path. And here's where you really want to put your focus. But once you're at this level and you're working on that material, then we have several supplementary courses that we suggest that go with that level. So if you're working down here on the rhythm principles module in Play Blues Guitar 4, once you've completed the core course, you'll probably want to dig into these courses. They are at the same level, cover many of the same subjects. Now there's certainly some crossover or some overlap where perhaps something down in Play Blues Guitar 5, you could tackle that when you're at the level of Play Blues Guitar 4, but we've really tried to lay them out. So when you're working on something in the core course, the supplementary courses are very complementary to that material and will give you a good next step to dig into. So as we go back up to the top, the concern is, well, how do you know where you're at in the learning path? There's a lot of material there. So that's where TrueFire's progress tracking really comes into play. And specific progress tracking that's designed just for the learning paths is pretty cool. So you'll notice that a bar across here is from 0% to all the way will be 100% over here on this side. That will show me where I'm at in my blues learning path. Right now, it's at 0%. You'll also notice that each of the levels, beginner to late beginner, they have their own progress tracking bar, as do each of the core courses. So how this works is, the best way to tackle this and get started on a learning path is to take a look at where you are and what you already know. So our first two courses in all of the learning paths are Learn Guitar 1 and Learn Guitar 2. This is for a beginner if you're just starting out. So if you're an intermediate player, maybe you've already been playing for a while, you may not need to go through all the material in the first two courses, but it's a good idea to track that progress that's going on in there and basically mark your videos. You can mark each lesson at TrueFire as either incomplete, meaning you haven't worked on it, in progress, meaning you're working on it but you just don't have it down yet, or complete. A great way to do this for our core courses is to click on Track. That opens up our tracking bar where we can mark each video. Here's all the videos listed in this course. And if I need to watch those to double check and make sure whether I know that material or not, I can click on that and it will open that particular lesson. And then I can mark them as they're already marked as incomplete. I can leave them there, or I can mark them as in progress or mark it as complete. So if I know the material there, I can mark those as complete. Now when I click out of there, the page will refresh and you'll see what happens. To start with, you'll notice that now that core course is 12% complete. My beginner to late beginner level is 6% complete, and that even made a little bit of a dent in my overall progress. Now it is at 1%. So as I mark things complete, my percentage of how much I have done in the blues learning path keeps advancing. Now, if you're an intermediate player, you probably know everything in this particular course, the first course, Learn Guitar 1, right? It's definitely for beginners. So you click on track once again, and now you can have the option to mark all of those as complete. So let's mark all of those as complete. Let's say, yeah, we already know that material. Now all of the videos in that course are marked as complete. Now when we come out of there, we notice that basically our beginner to late beginner is half done. That course is complete. If I go down to the next one and let's say I know all of the material in that course as well, I'm going to mark that as all complete. And you'll see what happens when we come out of there is now both of my beginner to late beginner courses are marked as 100% completed, and that whole entire level is 100% complete. If I go down and scroll down, and now I'm going to move on to late beginner to intermediate, and I'm going to look at this particular core course. Once again, you can look at individual videos to see where each one of them are, but I'm going to mark a few of them as complete, just so we get an idea. You can mark a couple as in progress, but as long as we have some complete, now I click out of that, and you're going to see that that particular core course is now 24% complete. My late beginner to intermediate level is 6%. But here's a really cool thing that you can do. And also, when we go up top, the overall progress now is at 9%. But I have the ability to collapse by clicking on this little minus sign, collapse each level. So if I collapse all of the levels, check this out. It gives me a really cool way to basically see all of where I'm at. So sort of a snapshot to see, my blues learning path, it's at 9% overall. I've completed all of the beginner to late beginner stuff. Late beginner to intermediate, I got to start on, and I haven't done any of this. Now, if you go through all of them and sort of go through this, it's a little bit of work up front, but it really helps you see where you're at. Maybe you've learned a bunch of advanced licks, and you may be up to 25% in your late intermediate to advanced, but you haven't done some of the core foundational stuff in late beginner. So that really shows you maybe you should go back and work on some of that. That's a cool way to sort of approach this idea of marking, going through everything you know, and then figuring out where you should start. So if I know here, all right, well, I'm at 24% with this core course, that means I should probably dig into this core course. If I get up here and I'm at, if I finish this course out and I'm at 100% of this course, then it's time to jump down and take a look at the supplementary courses that are at that same level. Go into there. I can track all of the information in there. That won't contribute to your overall learning path progress because that's based on the core courses. But every individual course has progress tracking. So let me show you how to do that within a course as well. So this is another cool way just to help you get through and basically work with all of the courses. If we jump over to a single course like this, like my street theory course here, I can mark each individual video right under the video. So right here I can track my progress, and you'll notice that incomplete is an empty circle, in progress is a filled in circle, completed has a check mark. So as I watch a video, if you complete it, just mark complete. Then over here on the list of videos, it's pretty cool because I can see which videos are completed, which ones are incomplete by the little empty circle, and which ones I'm working on. So I can easily scroll through here and say, wow, I've done that, but I'm in the middle of working on this. So it's a great way to basically track your progress. Also, each individual course has progress tracking. So as you see, several of these are completed, and I go down here, this course is 22% complete. I've done 22% of this course. Even when you click on in progress, that gives you a little bit of, it will help to partially complete your course. But in order to complete the whole thing, you have to have all the videos clicked as complete. But if we go back to the learning path, you'll see where by using both the ability to collapse or expand levels and by using the progress tracking tool, you can really get a great snapshot of where you are in your blues playing. And you can always go right to the level and right to the course that you need to work on. So you don't have to spend time wandering around thinking about what you should play next. You go right to the level that's anything below 100%, and you work on the core course. And you complete those videos as you work on them. Once you get that 100% completed, then you can either go to the next core course, or you can go down here and start working on the supplementary courses. And you can even do that in conjunction with you working on the core course. So that is TrueFire's learning paths and progress tracking. Just another great way to make sure you get down the path on your guitar journey.